Envoy. I speak for Paradise. That is all you need to know.
Careful, he could be a messenger. Or this could get interesting.
Edirins are all around us. It behooves us to be discreet. My compatriots have observed your judgment. We have a message for you. We do not give second warnings. Consider this one carefully. We will remember, Envoy. We will remember, Envoy.
What are you grinning about?
Huh? I wasn't grinning.
Right. Well, stop it.
That's just how my face looks, Marius. Hey, you got something on your mind? Something you want to talk about?
See? You're doing it now.
Well,
It's not every day you get to deal with the person who killed you. He killed you, you killed him. Seems like a win-win situation. Your decision, not mine. You hired me to bring you here, not poke at your moral values. Anyway, it doesn't matter what I think. You found the assassin, and you're still alive, which means well done, Marius. Now you're looking towards Emerald Stair. Whole other kind of deadly out there. I mean, if you think you've seen forests, think again. Emerald Stair is where nature goes to try out some new stuff. The trees there are fertilized by the corpses of people who thought they knew what they were getting into when they got there. But past that is the strange stuff. Ruins, spirits, and other things that you should steer clear of. Considered it, sure. I wouldn't be much of a guide if I dropped you off at the edge of Dawnshore and said, good luck. Good to be here. We've got a bit of a walk ahead of us. You might want to get some rest. Anyway. Thanks for talking.
I'm sure you had your own reasons, but I'm glad you helped those two fugitives get to Thirdborn. A lot of people in your position would have left them high and dry, or turned them in. Yeah, I thought so too. We've all been there. I'm just glad to see people get a second chance. And I'm relieved to know you're the kind of person who's willing to grant them, even when your official duties might suggest otherwise. I've been told I snore, so I hope you don't exile me from camp. Enjoy the ocean breeze while we're here.
Fior Messiverno, huh? Guess if you're looking for an animancer, that's the place to go. No, none more than usual. Both settlements are survivors. They just use different methods. Don't spend much time worrying about animancy myself. Never really needed it. A job is a job, Envoy. But not all places are created equal. I've led a few people there from Paradise or Thirdborn, and I've almost lost someone on every trip.
Someone's slipping.
I said almost. Just glad I can help. Right, changing the subject? You too.
Not everyone warrants an assassination attempt, you know. You should be flattered. Good thing you rectified that for him. Decisively, I might add. It's a shame. As odd as it sounds, I think he really would have left you alone. A fair fight. Huh. It's always struck me as a funny notion. He shot you with poison from the shadows. Many would call that a coward's act. But what other chance does a lone man have against imperial power? And who fights fair when survival is on the line? That's admirable, but it's hardly common practice, especially here. And I'm afraid we haven't seen the last of this conflict. Eagwolf isn't the only hothead in the Living Lands, and he's certainly not the only one with his hackles up about all you Adira newcomers. And Ludwig and the Steel Garrote are only making matters worse. No doubt. The whole of Paradise used to be a lot more like the Sparrowhawks' territory, if you can believe it. More freedom, but more bodies in the streets, too. Your ambassador and the rest of the Adiran forces have been dragging the frontier, kicking and screaming towards order and civilization. All the things that half of us moved here to escape. Then, one day, Ludwig and the Steel Garrote show up to reinforce the Adiran presence, and they're as harsh as Wodaka herself. Strict is one thing, fanatical's another. The Rawatayan Navy's known for harsh punishment. When I served, we watched a gunner hold a red-hot cannonball while she sang our empire's anthem. All for trading some of our supplies on the side, mind you. It also resulted in one of the most effective navies in Aora, or so the argument goes. However, that approach won't win many allies in the Living Lands. As Ludwig will find out. Judging from that meeting, Ambassador Hilgard and Ludwig don't see eye to eye. I'm afraid that means trouble on the horizon, especially if Ludwig starts operating around him. Like it or not, their differences could make trouble for you, especially since the Stilgarrot is here under Adir's flag. And I worry about what that means for the rest of us. Just thinking about Claviger Amon. I let him down. I've let a few people down over the years. But I did promise someone once that I'd do my part to look after all of us riffraff who've made a home here. My best chance of doing that is helping you investigate this plague and keep a lid on tensions. And, hopefully, fend off any future assassination attempts. If you're going to put a stop to what we saw in the Strangle Route, I don't care what power you serve. None of us have a future if the Dream Scourge spreads. I think that's enough doom and gloom for one night. Sleep easy, Envoy. As best you can. Night, Envoy.
Haze, mirrors, we have touched something like your dreams before. Our roots entwine, but we cannot linger here long. We must know. A life for a life. A killer's blood billows in the drain, dead like the bear. We do not understand. Was this a mercy too? Eat or bleed. Rule of the wild. We know these shapes. Still. A dam broke. We wept in the dark when your soul slipped away. We feared for you, felt your agony. We could not forgive. Petals disperse on the wind. Wake now. We have tending to do.
Poor guy. Didn't even stand a chance.
Looks like there's a note. Something doesn't feel right here. Never has.
Hold a moment. They tell me you're going to Emerald Stair. Business or pleasure? Well, just remember to cover your mouth, sneeze into your elbow, and sleep with lavender under your pillow. Fair warning, Envoy. Before you showed up, Inquisitor Ludwig barged past me. She was looking none too pleased. I didn't ask. The less I know, the better. Anyway, I thought you should know Ludwig's on the prowl. Tread lightly.
So Ludwig's somewhere out there doing who knows what. Wonderful.
Hopefully, your handling of Egwolf brought us some grace with her.
You're cleared to pass, Envoy.
Can't say I'm sad to be leaving Paradise. I had no idea how tense things were with the Adirans moving in.
And Egwolf's death won't help matters.
Survival dictates you remove a threat as soon as it makes itself known. That's exactly what you did.
Regardless, the Steel Garrote will see this as an excuse to crack down. I get the feeling they've been looking for one.
Steel Garrote? I figured they're just more intense Adiran soldiers.
They'll have their work cut out for them here. About half the people who come to the Living Lands are fugitives or exiles from something.
I don't like that Ludwig woman. She gives me the freakus.
Yeah, I've seen floggings gentler than the scolding she gave Hilgard. One's tacking and the other's jibing, if you catch my drift. Sorry, old sailor slang. They're working at cross purposes. And that's gonna mean trouble for everyone around them before long.
Then it's a good thing we're getting out of the city.
Yeah. Much as Liviana misses our company, I wouldn't count on your mysterious friend reviving you a second time.
Are you listening to that friend when you go all blank-eyed from time to time? Does your special friend talk to you? I mean, I had an imaginary friend when I was little, but they never brought me back from the dead.
He means that with all due professional respect, of course.
How do you know this friend doesn't mean us any harm? Well, maybe figure it out. We can't prepare for what we don't know is coming.
We're headed to Fior Messi Verno to see if the Animancers know anything about the Dream Scourge, right? Maybe we'll learn something about your condition in the process.
Right. When it comes time to deal with Animancers, you two are on your own.
Fair enough, but I wouldn't expect a warm welcome. Hilgard's already brought your homeland's prohibitions against animancy to Paradise.
They could stand around and have scholarly debates about souls all they want. Gives me a great opportunity to take a nap.
I haven't been back in a while, but Fior is, an interesting place. It was founded about 50 years ago by a disgraced Valian duke and a handful of animancers who'd soured on politics in the republics.
Town full of nobles, scholars, and leeches, all surviving off the work of the farmers who grow food for the whole island.
They're an eccentric bunch. You'll see. It turns out that academics are as ungovernable as the rest of us rabble.
They don't understand what they're messing with. They can't tame the wilds with machinery.
They've held it at bay until recently. Their ingenuity, or madness, or heresy, take your pick, has fed a lot of people in the Living Lands. But rumor has it some unnatural blight is destroying their crops. We'll find out soon enough. And while we're in Emerald Stair, there's something I've been putting off. An old friend from my time in Thirdborn had a cabin out in the woods. Tama. He passed a while ago, but he left something for me that I never got around to picking up. But since we'll be in Emerald Stair anyway, you won't regret it. Emerald Stair's lovely this time of year. Even the Delimgon bloom.
No matter what I tell you, you keep picking flowers from things that want to kill you.
Hey, they love me. You just gotta ask nicely. Compliment their foliage.
Right. Maybe buy them a drink before they choke you to death with vines. Well, you came to the right place.
You and I have quite the adventure ahead of us, Envoy.
I have 2 rules. No campfire songs and no hugs. That last one's non-negotiable.
I hear wiggle room on the singing.
If we're done being ridiculous, we should get some rest. We'll be in Emerald Stair tomorrow.
Good to have you with us, Marius.
Right. Go to bed before you violate the hugging rule.
Would you be dear and help with these forms, please?
Looks like she needs our help. Let's go.
Fantastic. People. I was about to lose my wits.
A mind's question. The dust of the Akita in her hair. She knocks. We would answer.
You wouldn't happen to have a ladder on hand, would you? Sansa? Absolutely not. Cute as a button, but he's so high-strung. I pursue my own academic interests. Interests that require the vase in the ruins. And a ladder. But perhaps we don't need one. You're tall, striking, and well-toned. Do they really? I wonder what other advantages godlikes come with. Maybe the 3 of you have experimented?
I'll try anything twice.
It's more of an animancy thing, isn't it?
In any event, I already have a lover. He always carries a ladder. But sadly, he's busy helping the Animancers in Fjord, and I need this vase now. Oh, absolutely not. Vidaro, the governor, is an uptight postinago. But if you want to know about the governor, fetch me that artifact. The vase sits atop that tower beside us, in the ruins there. And once you've got it, look me up. Yatsley, wizard extraordinaire, godless expert, and a Balrog in the bedroom.
You do meet the most interesting people.
I can get you 1,000 faces that don't require going into some ancient ruins, but no one listens to me. Quiet, Nimdut.
We make a good squad. Granted, I don't come here often, but when did it get this bad? Oh, more of this stuff. Has anyone figured out how to get rid of it? As if people weren't hungry enough.
We got them all.
What do you mean that's all you've got? Last week you said there'd be grain.
I know what I said, but we only have so much to go around.
Are the animals starving as well, Or are they sipping tea?
Take it up with the governor. I don't make the rules. Go home. Lay traps in the woods and pray for game. I can't help you.
We know you're stashing the grain somewhere. Well, let's have it.
There's no stash, as I've told you before. If I had grain, I'd give it to you. I know times are hard.
The crops are coming up wrong, miss. Flies won't even land on them.
It's bad all over. Trust me. Godlike.
No cutting in line. I was here first.
You're the first godlike to come through in... well, I can't remember how long. I hope that's a good sign. I'll take what I can get. If the gods don't bless us with a harvest soon, this market will be empty come winter. Really? You know the gods don't exactly favor animancy. Some say the old gods aren't here, or maybe they just don't care for the living lands. If you need an animancer, you'll have to clear it with the governor. He lives in the big manor on the far side of town. Let me know if anything strikes your fancy. We don't have much, but the harvest hasn't bled us dry yet.
Word of advice, give a wide berth to the governor's manor. Giat is about to tear that poor man a new one. One of our animancers. She's bright as a spark, but a mite confrontational. She came storming up the hill with a wheelbarrow full of spoiled crops. Then the shouting started.
Animancers fighting? This I have to see.
This isn't the first time Giat has put the governor in his place, but it might be the last. Look around. The town's overgrown, the crops are dying. What's not to fight about?
Just take a blessed day look outside. It doesn't take a genius to see this place is rolling downhill.
The governor's manor is on the far side of town. You can't miss it. Just follow the sound of foul language.
I was hoping to learn some local curses.
Looking forward to seeing what it looks like when animancers fight.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy. Come to interfere in Stilgarrote business again? Certainly not. Besides, I have no more business in Fjord. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of animancy. Fair enough, envoy. Talk to the man all you'd like. When diplomacy fails, the Stilgarrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adiran interests. Barter for peace, prepare for war. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solace? What else to get? What else to get?
Genuine healing crystals, purest in all of Eora. Rejuvenate and revitalize your personal essence.
Giata, what's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops. Look at your city. The Dream Scourge is laying waste to our home.
There is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair.
The land begs to differ, and I can prove it.
We can discuss this in private.
We are discussing it now! How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? In that case, you're right on time.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Seems more likely you'll have to punch some sense into him.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Very well. I hope you remember that behind these walls, your influence has limits.
I'm sure he didn't come all this way just to challenge your authority. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now, our farms. Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
I like her already.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did.
As usual, Giatta never misses a chance to slander me. I don't ignore her concerns, only her methods.
And you still do nothing. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Must be nice that all the arguing isn't about you, for once.
I'm just trying to stop Giatta from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. It's nothing. Our governor is backed into a corner and lashing out. I almost respect him for it. Buy me a drink sometime, and I'll tell you all about my family's basement. I thought you'd never ask. Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Giatta.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Giatta Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Whoa, you're banishing her for that?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giatta is an outcast. Perhaps, but I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Messiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west by the workshop.
Another mouth to feed. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt more after all.
That did not go as I had planned.
What did you think would happen when you confronted him so?
Well, my first idea was to mess up his house. Maybe break a window or two.
Perhaps I should thank you for showing restraint.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giata, some manners, if you please.
I thought she was being polite.
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. I can think of one. He's an entitled little worm who can't stand to be proven wrong.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Misiverno, I'm hardly even an animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone.
I wish I could take credit for Giata's stubbornness, but she learned that on her own.
Thanks, old man. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want. On my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. In a way, I do. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Adiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of animancers.
We will set aside our differences for the greater good, won't we, Giata?
Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Wouldn't that be a coincidence? I only bring it up because Animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... I don't even know. I just realized this is the end. I have to leave your Misiverno. Forever.
Some people don't find out who they really are until they leave home.
You'll be all right. My advice, find a good tavern and learn how to prepare squirrel over an open flame.
Maybe if I focus on what I have gained, I can learn to accept everything I've lost. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. Don't worry. Ignacy can't banish us all. Manto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fjord. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial envoy,